Hello, welcome back to Voluminum. This is episode 16, and what we're looking at here are some piston bolts. The first ones I've built in this world are right here, and the first ones I've ever built myself. And if you don't know what this is, it's basically just pistons pushing a minecart along a curved rail really fast. So I've covered it up now mostly, but you can see that there's an activation here that sends a pulse to the first two pistons here. That's why they're each one is diagonal from each other, and in between each one is a repeater. And that just, every repeater is 2 game ticks, and they're alternating, so it sends the pistons pushing the minecart along the rail really fast. Let's hop in. Woo! And this one isn't very long. It's the first one I've ever done. So I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to give myself a test run, more or less. And then we go along here as a transition. Looks kind of weird from F5. And we arrive at our overworld mob switch. That's what this one's for. Comes over. I can jump over, turn on and off, and then you have to make the way back as well. So 2 piston bolts for 1 destination. And this is just how we get back. And I've tried to decorate this in a manner that resembled where it was going. So this is a lime and light blue carpet with some birch slabs and stairs. Kind of a lighter theme to signify going to the overworld switch. This darker theme, I'm sure you can guess. I'm sure you can guess where it goes. So let's take it. And this is something I've talked about adding a lot in recent episodes, where I need to get another mob switch before 1.16 just so we can have it turned off and explore the new biomes without getting pinged by gas constantly. And that's what I've done. So let's put this back, and of course I also had to make a piston bolt on this side to go back. Now I know that I did more work than I needed to with this. I know there's a way to add a destination to a piston bolt with comparators. You add a switch at the very beginning of the piston bolt. You add the switch to adjust the signal strength of the comparators. You have a signal strength for one destination, and then if you switch it, the signal strength will change the rail at the end here when you get here, and it'll send you to a different destination. So I probably could have gotten away with 1 piston bolt coming here with a 2 destination switch and then 1 piston bolt back. I just wanted to familiarize myself with building these things, and now I can confidently say I can build these things with ease. Now it's just a matter of building them that take me out much further destinations a lot quicker. It's like I said, these first ones weren't very far. It's just over to the overworld and nether mob switch. The ones after this will definitely be, I'll definitely experiment with adding a switch at the beginning to adjust the signal strength and add different destinations to one. But let's go over here and look at this nether mob switch. It's a little bit different. See, I come out right here, and I'll just hop on over, and this is just an observer rail line that goes over to that hopper clock down there and turns the portal loader on or off. We look at the MSPT, it's looking pretty good. It is looking really good right now. But if we walk further that way and load all those withers, it goes up quite a lot. So this is why we stay way back down here, and we can clearly see if we turn this off, that light at the end down there turns off, and we turn it back on. It pretty quickly turns back on too. That's the benefit of this. And this is really cheap too, just observers and powered rails. Just for the sake of showing you, I'll fly this way and we'll take a look at this switch. It's just like the one in the overworld. Let's turn this down a lot. Oh, frames. So this is Fallen Breath's design, just like I did in the overworld. I was actually going to do a much smaller one by VK Tech. He came up with a really small one that required very little bedrock breaking, but it wasn't very fast, and I was familiar with this one, so I just wanted to go ahead and build it up. And I've shown this before, so let's leave before we go blind. But now we have a switch for the nether and the overworld. So now any projects we have in either dimension, we can just turn off the mobs when needed, And the nether, that's huge. That turns off every single mob. In the overworld, we still have to deal with phantoms, pillager patrols, and even zombie sieges pretty rarely, but they happen mostly around villagers, I think. But that'll just give us that much more freedom in the nether here when we want to work on new projects. So I'm sure you noticed how much bedrock was broken there. If you remember, I'm still in 115, and I'll come clean. I didn't do it with TNT. I enabled the carpet feature, Dragon Egg, bedrock breaking from update 112, and you can judge me if you want. I won't blame you. It's something I really wanted to add back into this world, but I was really hesitant because I wanted this to be as close to vanilla as I could without duping or doing anything non-legit, in my eyes anyway. But I just, there's so many projects that I want to do that require a lot of bedrock breaking. And right now there just isn't a viable method to break massive areas of bedrock in 115 with TNT. Even you have to use headless pistons for all the pieces. I was really close to enabling it when I made the Wither Killer because there was a bunch of bedrock that had to be broken there. Nearly pulled my hair out doing that one. But I finally decided this one, it was time to suck it up and just enable it. So this does kind of change things for the world as far as the rules I set for myself go. I've got a little board up here. These are still going to be implemented, even though the zero tick farms are actually getting fixed, and AFK fishing. So I'm going to take both of these down, and the AFK and the amidst usage I had to get rid of because I was making the world size way too big, and it was nearly impossible to save a backup really quickly if I wanted to. So I had to get rid of the amidst usage. I had to start using amidst for things so I could keep the file size down. But as far as duping goes, I'm still not duping TNT. That is still a rule that I will follow. But kind of in exchange for that, I decided to dupe dragon eggs, obviously, because enabling that carpet rule, we need a lot of dragon eggs. So these were duped dragon eggs, and these are obviously just for breaking bedrock. There's no really other way around it. You've got to dupe the eggs. And elytras. Now, this is pretty controversial and may seem a little bit too cheaty, but I'm looking at this decision as more of a long-term thing for the world, and I mean long-term. Like, the way I dupe these elytras, you can't do it any further in any new 116 snapshots. So these are the elytras I have for the world, and because I really hate trimming the region files in the end, I think that's the same reason I turned on respawnable shulkers. I mean, you can say what you want. It's kind of like duping that way anyway, because you're just regenerating the chunks again and then doing it all again, going out, finding in cities, doing it again. I just don't want to do that kind of legwork for elytras. So I duped the elytras. I'm obviously not going to dupe anything else like diamonds or netherite or stuff like that. These are the things that I had to dupe, basically, that I've justified myself in duping. And like I said, you can judge me. I won't blame you. But it is my world and my decisions. I'm not trying to prove anything here. I'm just playing to have fun. Remember that. Moving on here, let's go back over to the overworld switch. I want to show you a little something that I worked on. For some reason, it didn't occur to me that I'm not only loading the chunks that the mob switch is in, I'm loading the chunks around the mob switch as well. Not just, obviously, the lazy chunk that the wither's in is a 5x5 area of chunks that I'm loading. I was looking at the passive mob count one day and wondering why I had so many sheep loaded. I came over here to check because I realized that the overworld switch was on, and I would have sworn that I just tried to start an open pen sheep farm here. There were just a ton of sheep for some reason, and I don't spend a lot of time here, so I'm not sure how they got there, but they were hanging out here, loading up sheep in the world, and making no other passive mob spawn, and also creating entity lag. So I came over here and decided to dig this out and make sure there's no grass or anything else to spawn on. Obviously no hostile mobs can spawn here because while I'm in this area all the withers are loaded as well. I made sure to dig out all the grass, and I may take this all the way down to bedrock. and decorate this as kind of and turn this into more of like just a decorative hole in the world. And I'm also going to do this with the nether side that I'm loading as well for the nether mob switch. So I have these two holes. I think it'll be that way, maybe? Alright, so what feels like forever? This has actually been a few weeks now since that last clip. I've been very busy, mostly with real life stuff, but I've had some time to play, and I've got some work done in the end. So let's go check this out. And here we are. Let's just fly up over here and land and take a look around. Seems to be something missing here. A couple of things missing. Yep. All of the obsidian is now mined. 41,041. Of course, not all of that was here in the end, but certainly most of it was. But all the obsidian pillars are mined down all the way through the island. Not just down to the bottom, all the way through it. So these holes here, you can just flap them. Oh well. Some of them you can't. I've blocked off because I've been mining up there. So basically stage 1, I guess, is done. Of Project Veer. And I've added some decorations to some of the farms we've got. So I've just added some black concrete around this this Wither Rose portal. Added some honey blocks around the honey farm that's way out there. And this is a new one right here. I'm excited to show off. I realized how close one of the end cities were to this gateway. And all I did was make a platform way up here. So I could put a bot at, because currently there's no way to permanently chunk load anywhere in the end, even through gateways. Chucking items through them just doesn't work like it does with nether portals. So the only way to do this is with a bot, and this is a mob switch for the end. And all those down there are shulkers that have just spawned. I was actually going to tear down this end city. I'll go down to free cam, you can see. I was gonna make layers out of it so they could have as many spawning spaces as they wanted. As you can see, there's 165 mobs loaded. Not all of them are shulkers, I'm sure. There's definitely 140 or so though. Yeah, so I just spawned in a bot up there. These guys spawned in. All I had to just do was torch up the bottom here a little bit, and we're good. Now we have a mob switch for the end. Of course, I do have another bot on that's increasing the mob cap a little bit. That's why we saw some Enderman on the main island, and some popping in out here. Because now instead of 2, it's loading in a player cap of 3. But let's go over to this portal here. That's our villager hall, the main one right there. And over next to it, I planned on actually making an iron farm, one by Pags and VK Tech from the Hammer SSP server. I actually still plan on doing that, maybe in one of those portals over there. But this one was a little bit too close to the hall. It was actually loading the Enderman farm up right over there. So this one's a little bit too close. I don't want to be going in and out loading that up as well. But I decided to make a turtle farm over here. And these eggs just take absolutely ages to hatch. There were 4 here. And these 2 still have not hatched. I've AFK'd overnight more than 9 hours. And I've had that turtle bot, right over there. Oh my god, they take so long to hatch. So, yeah, these are actually... I got these eggs from the overworld. Just from 2 random turtles. And this is just the most simple, you can't really... Oh, I made some scoops, nice. I don't know any other way to really farm turtles other than, just having some mine carts under sand. So the eggs only hatch on sand, of course. So that's where all the sand is here. This apparently works in the end. I had my doubts because these things were not hatching, but upon logging in today, luckily they hatched. So yeah, since I decided to do away with making the iron farm here, and I wanted to make a turtle farm, so I could start stocking up on turtle eggs for future projects, and scoots for for just completion's sake. I've never built a turtle farm, so I kind of wanted to just try this out while I'm doing other stuff, because mining in stone is not fun. And that's kind of where we're at now. Let's just turn this off for now. So this guy's gonna hatch an egg here pretty soon. But yeah, I've done a lot more work on the storage as well, and I'm getting to the point where I'm almost ready to build the storage as soon as I clear out the area at the end island, at the main island. Now it's just a matter of getting all the resources to build the storage, and then getting all the items to put in the filters, and that's gonna take a long time. But anyways, let's go back here. So I've had a lot of deliberation over how exactly this is gonna pan out. Oh, I suck at flying. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Clearly this is a lot more flat. I'm sure you could tell. Notched this side of the island down 4 layers, and that side 4 layers as well. I'm gonna go all the way outside these end gateways. Here is gonna go all the way off. I'm gonna mine all this down, and this is gonna go down to like Y48. So where are we at here? 61. So got some install mining to do. Let's see. Let's actually see how much I've done. Oh, duh. And stone mine 40,922. Nice. So yeah, this is a brain melting process. But I've had some fun doing some things on the side, working on the storage, adding things and adjusting things how I want. In the test world, of course, it's obviously not built up here. But I'm getting excited because I've been playing in the snapshots for 1.16, and the block palette for this island, I've got it all tested out. I'm not going to show you the end result of what I've been doing in the test world because that would kind of ruin it, but you'll see me build it up in survival, so I think that'll be good enough. I felt a little guilty because a lot of the content in this episode and the previous one is me basically just talking about what I'm going to do. But there has been a lot of progress done. Like I said, obviously the Obsidian mine here took a long time, and I've been doing a lot in the test world. So progress is being made, it's just not that visible right now. Ow! Purple beam through me. But this place is going to look completely different when I'm done with it. I'm trying to keep screenshots and some short clips of me mining all this down so we can do kind of a before and after and some progress, and maybe I'll do a progress video. But it's definitely going to be worth all this planning because, like I said, it's not only going to be my main storage, it's going to be an entire biome that's going to be pretty massive. It's going to be good. It'll be good. And the whole time we're just going to keep adding farms in the end here, as many as we possibly can. So we're going to have a list of farms that we can just go to in the end whenever we want, and all in their own separate gateways. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. I'm sorry it's a bit on the shorter side, but like I said, it's been a lot more planning and testing, messing around in the creative world than actual content, I guess, that I could show off. A lot of off-camera things, but I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and you'll be back for more. I'll see you next time.